Hello, everybody, it's Tim here again. Here another review. This time for Loki season 2. I really enjoyed Loki season 1. It's like a 4 out of 4. And just like most people, as far as the MCU goes, as of now in its newer phases, it's not doing great. It's not terrible. It's still good, but it's just below MCU standards from what we know is like the best of the MCU, which was everything like up until Endgame. Now the MCU is just kind of any standard franchise. It's not bad, but it's just not great anymore. It's still good, but it's not great. But yeah, overall, the Loki show is still kicking ass. This Loki season 2, I will say this overall, the writing is not as great in terms of consistency as the first season, but but it's really close. And the final here is much more is better than the final of the first season because it feels like a proper ending. So because of that, it gives you more oomph and doesn't leave open for like another season. Um, it leaves open for more in the future if they want to do more with Loki, but at the same time, it really ends the story that was started in season 1, so it feels like an ending, and it feels like a complete character arc for the character of Loki. Pretty much it picks up from the ending of the first season. Mobius, played by Owen Wilson, and all of them like don't know who Loki is, and Kang the Conqueror, or whatever, a version of him has been killed. Who is like called He Who Remains, who's like overseeing all the timelines and everything. And all time is like going crazy. And there's this variant of Kang or whatever, also played by Jonathan Majors. They're still setting up for the Kang Kang Dynasty Avengers movie, which we're not even sure if Jonathan Majors will stay as Kang at this point because he's doing the whole court trial thing and everything. But even if he doesn't, I hope they recast or something because they've already spent so much time building up to Kang. I hope they don't do a 180 or something, try to throw in Doom at the last minute. Just finish off Kang, even if you got to recast. But Jonathan Majors comes back in here as a new version of himself, which is like this scientist type version or whatever that they end up having to get to because they need him to help like repair the time stream and everything because it's going crazy. And this version of like Kang or whatever where that Jonathan Majors plays, he's like this tinkerer over the top Albert Einstein looking version or whatever. He's pretty over the top. It's probably the worst performance I've seen Jonathan Majors give in his career. It's not bad. He's still good here, but it's just so cartoonish that it almost feels like it should be in a different show. The Miss Minutes character or whatever from the last one comes back, teamed up with the black chick who was in the last season, who was like kind of had a romance thing going on with Owen Wilson are kind of hinted at, but of course she's still evil. She's still a biatch in this, and she's pretty much an asshole. She wants to make everything back to the way it was or whatever, and put Kang back in charge, a new version of him, this variant version that's also played by Jonathan Majors, who's like this tinkerer type guy or whatever, professor. But of course Loki and Owen Wilson just want his help so they can repair and fix the timelines and everything because everything's going crazy. Um, I'll say this, yeah, like Jonathan Majors' performance, he's doing probably what is asked of him in terms of this, but it's really cartoonish and over the top. Almost feels like it should be in a different show. Part of the way through the series, I expect him to like jerk at a carrot and go, "What's up, Doc?" It's like it's that cartoonish almost. Well, it is, yeah. The performances, other than that, though, are fine. Everybody's pretty good here. The Sylvia character, who's like a big deal in the last one with her whole romance with Loki and everything, she takes a back seat here. She's still here. She's still good, but she's much more in the back seat here. But this season is much more focused entirely on Loki himself, which is both good and kind of hurts it just a little because I wanted a little more of like the character of Sylvia and stuff. But overall, though, I do appreciate the much more focus on Loki, and it makes sense by the time you get to the last episode because it brings everything together for his character and completes his arc into him becoming a hero. So by the end, pretty much, you find out that the timeline thing can't really be fixed, and Loki has two choices. He either has to well, he has to either pretty much sacrifice himself, or he has to go and kill Sylvia before she killed the first Kang the Conqueror, or whatever, He Who Remains. So this whole timeline mess never happened. So back in season 1, and so that was pretty cool going back to like season 1 because Loki's like he's got this glitch where he's popping like in and out of different time zones and stuff like or time streams into past, presents, and futures. It does get a bit convoluted, and I think the actor's name in here is Kelly Marie Kwan or whatever, who was also in like Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he was in like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He plays like this scientist dude in here who works at the TVA Corporation. He's pretty cool. His acting's really good here. He's one of the most fun new characters. But by the end, of course, Loki doesn't want to kill Sylvia, so he pretty much sacrifices himself, which I would have honestly liked it if they would have did more with the romance between him and Sylvia, but they still got time to do more with that down the line because we know Loki's eventually going to come back. It's already rumored that he's going to come back in Secret Wars, which makes sense because he's now like pretty much the god keeper of time. So he pretty much is going to take the place of like He Who Remains, who was like Jonathan Majors is one of his alternate versions of Kang, who was killed by Sylvia. And he goes there and he's like taking all the time streams on his back and everything and trying to like hold them together and everything. And he pretty much sacrifices himself by sitting down on the throne and taking Jonathan Majors' place, kind of. And that's pretty much how it ends with him as a hero, sacrificing himself. So, yeah, altogether, this is easily a 4 out of 4. easily the best newer Marvel product, and easily Loki is still the best Marvel show easily, and it completes his character arc from the very first Thor movie up until now, where he's now a hero. Loki has the best arc of the entire MCU. Really, he may not be the best character. That probably is still Robert Downey Jr. But the fact that Loki's like still kind of going on and on in this franchise, even though at first I was like, oh, they're bringing back Loki again, but they've really done really good with him in this series. And now that they've completed his arc, like he's giving Iron Man a run for his money. Like if they bring Loki back, which they're gonna bring him back, but if they bring him back in Secret Wars and do something like massively heroic with him or something, like if he's responsible for like helping all the different multiverse Avengers or whatever defeat Kang or something, um, then that will probably make him the best character of the MCU. Like as of now, he is the best character. I'm talking about like of all time, out of everybody. He might beat Iron Man in terms, at least for me, in terms of like the best character. But yeah, overall, this is easily a 4 out of 4. It's a bit more convoluted plot wise, with all the time jumping and stuff like that than the first one. So the first season, so it makes it a little bit harder to follow. But overall, this was a awesome season and completes the series of Loki. They could, if they wanted, they could like. There's parts of this where Loki and Mobius are like going around like on like little mini time travel adventures, or whatever. Like when they're looking for the alternate versions of Jonathan Majors. And really, this, if you could take that concept and make this just like an ongoing series where it's just Loki and Mobius off on time travel adventures, you really could do that. But I'm glad they wrapped it up with a complete story here. Um, if they ever do another season of Loki or whatever, it'll be something like after Secret Wars and all that when he comes back after this or whatever. But yeah, overall, 4 out of 4. I really enjoyed it. Easily the best thing Marvel's done and since the first season of Loki. Yeah, overall, really liked it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.